Yo, what's up, homie?
Yo, what's good, bro?
Man, I'm good, man. Yo, it's so good to see you, bro.
Old facts, man. It's been a long time, man.
Yes, it has, man. Yes, it has, man. I done heard a lot of things, man, about you, man. And you know, just first to begin with, salute. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank you.
man. So, yo, check it out, man. Let's just go ahead and jump on in, man.
Okay.
Why don't you give the people a little background, like where you from and where you grew up at, so on and so forth.
Well, I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Was
Mm-hmm.
born and raised in Crown Heights. I'm claiming Ebbsfield. You know
Facts,
that. Stand up, big up to all my EF family. You already know. Crown Heights in the house. You heard?
facts, facts. So I know, like I wrote you the other day. I said, man, like when we used to go to Prospect Park and shit,
Facts,
play
facts,
play
facts.
football and all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Those some good
So
times. That's a fact.
yeah, why don't you tell the people a little bit about that time period, like coming up or whatever.
Well, basically back then, you talking about the early '80s. Talking
Mm-hmm.
about like 83, 84, 85, stuff like that. Going to
Yeah.
Prospect Park. Everybody from all the different buildings. We would meet up on the patio. In
Yeah.
our old gear. We go out to the Prospect Park, and sometimes we'll split the team up by buildings. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Or we just pick sides and we just be out there playing tackle football, no pads, no nothing,
Right.
no
Right.
cleats. Some of us had cleats, some of us didn't have cleats. And we just be out there doing it, no ref, no nothing.
Right.
So yeah, those some good times, man.
Yeah. And then I know, like, short period after that, some of us started getting off into, manhood things. You know what I'm
Right, right,
saying?
right, right, right.
And couple of us ended up OT, out of town or whatever and stuff like
Right,
that.
right, right.
So what talk a little bit about that, Daquan. What was that time period like for you?
Well, basically, that was the time frame when you had the nation of gods on earth. They was big.
Mm-hmm.
They was big.
I remember that. That's right around the time you became God body.
I definitely became God body,
Mm-hmm.
and that was also at the beginning of like the crack era.
Right.
So like you said, a lot of the older guys was going OT, getting that money. They would start recruiting. Young brothers go with them OT to get money. Or
Mm-hmm.
someone was making money within the city on certain blocks, abandoned buildings, or they
Right.
had apartments in certain buildings.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it might have been across the parkway or wherever. You know what I mean?
Facts.
They had established. So you be sitting inside the spots and you just be making that bread.
Facts.
Um, I I honestly I like dibble and dab in it. I was always working, always had a 9 to 5. But like I said, I did dibble and dabble a little bit
Right.
at the beginning, and I realized that that really wasn't for me because one day I was sitting at the spot and a pregnant lady came. This was in Bushwick,
Mm.
and she came and asked me, "Was that the new spot?" I said, "Yeah, it's a new spot." So she was like, "I want to get something." Like, "Nah." She was like, "What you mean?" I said, "Pregnant. I'm not gonna sell to you, and you pregnant." She like, "Oh no, it's not for me. It's for my father or my uncle, one or two."
Right.
I said, "Well, you know where's that? Tell him come over here." She was like, "Oh no, he's in a wheelchair. Well, will him over here then." She was like, "No." I said, "Listen, I'm not giving you nothing. You pregnant. Like it's not it. It's
Right.
not happening." So she was like, "You know what? You're right. It is for me, and may you live a long time. May God bless you." Right then and there, I knew that that wasn't my forte. That wasn't my thing. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So, but I did other things, in the street. I really don't want to elaborate on, but
Right. Right. Right.
drug dealing, robbery, none of that wasn't my forte. I never was into robbing. Like I said, selling drugs, but I did do other things, and that was my forte.
Right. 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 Facts. Facts.
So,
Facts. Now I know at some point, Daquan, you ended up getting jammed up.
Right.
Yeah, you want to talk a little bit about that? What led to that?
It happened on somebody that I was cool with.
Mm-hmm.
They wound up messing around with at that time my girl at the time, and it really wasn't over her. It was the fact that he disrespected the friendship I thought that we had established. You know what I mean? And a lot of people say, "Oh no, it was over the woman." Nah, it really wasn't over the woman. It's over the respect, like the trust.
Mm-hmm.
And he violated that. You know, he basically was telling me I'm like a big brother to him, or so for you to violate and do that to me, and I never did you wrong. So, I did what I did, and he wound up, police got involved, and I went and joined Uncle Sam Army. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah. I
Got
heard
ghost,
about
got low, went, and and that's how I got inside the military, and then I got out. During that time frame when I was in the military, I wound up turning. At that time, it was known as Gangster Disciples.
Mm-hmm.
And I came home, and when I came home, I thought I left all that out in like the Midwest.
Right.
When I came home, come to find out, the Bloods and Crips started the New York Bloods rather started. They had Crips, and the Bloods was doing their best to come into Ebbsfield and make it blooded out. They was putting razors to little children necks, to my 13-year-olds, 12-year-old, 11-year-olds, trying to force them to turn blood.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, I'm not going to say no names. There was someone in there representing the Latin Kings. At that time, the beef between the Bloods and Latin Kings was heavy. Mm-hmm. And the Bloods wound up coming in, Ebbsfield, doing him dirty. They did him filthy. And one of his Latin King brothers ran on him, left him. Then another one of the Latin Kings from, Ebbsfield went up the block, try to, avenge, the bro demise, and he came back leaky mouth and all that.
Yeah.
Then a lot of at that time, some of the individuals from Ebbsfield like, listen, like, we need for y'all to stand up. Like, it was me and one other person representing GDs, and it was like, listen, we need for y'all to stand up. You know what I mean? So I was like, that's really not my place, because, Bloods and Gangster Disciples don't have beef. Like, we never had beef.
Right.
And it's we're not to get involved in something like that. But then, they was like, listen, like, this is what they doing. And like I said, I observed them doing it, and it was more so protecting Ebbsfield.
Right.
And me and, the brother, we stood up. I went up the block, told him, listen, from now on, this is GD territory. Like, keep that up the block. Y'all can still come play ball, chill in the park, but there's going to be no recruitment down there. There's going to be none of y'all try to mess with nobody down. Whatever y'all do as far as your nation, you keep that up there. You keep that up on Franklin Avenue.
Right.
But as far as you here in Ebbsfield, it's not happening.
Okay. So that's how it all started, huh?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, that's exactly how it started.
Yeah. Okay, so you would be like considered the father of the GDs in Ebbsfield. Is that correct?
Well, I wouldn't say father, because there's only one father with this organization. That's, Larry Hoover.
King
Hoover. Larry Hoover Sr. That's the father. Like, he's the father.
Right.
I mean, but I'll be called like the big bro, like the big bro.
Okay. Yeah, I did a little homework on how it all began in the '60s with David Barksdale,
right,
and King Hoover, and they were actually in separate groups. And from my understanding, one was called the Supreme Gangsters. That was the Larry Hoover faction.
Correct.
And the other was the Devil or Black Disciples. That was the
It was actually the the devil disciples.
Devil's disciples, right.
Right.
And so, from my understanding, they were developed to protect the neighborhood from the white gangs that were coming in and causing ruckus. But they had got together because they were warned or had began warring with each other. And Hoover and Barksdale was like, nah, let's end this and get together. Is that true?
Well, actually, what happened was at that time in Chicago, just like even in New York, because a lot
Right.
of people don't know New York history. Even like the late '60s, mid to late '60s, New York had their own gangs. They had
Right.
the Tomahawks, the Jolly Stompers, the Black Eights. You know, a lot of people don't tend to talk about that, but they
That's a
always
fact.
started to protect the community. At that time, also, you had what was called the slum landlords. The
Right.
slum landlords, they was paying ridiculous rent. At that time, rent might have been $60, $80. Back then, that was a lot of money. But, our people, the Black and Hispanics, I'm not going to say Latino, I'm going to say Hispanics, we always living in these buildings with no heat, rat infested, roach infested, but yet these landlords wanted that money.
Right.
But they didn't want to clean up the building. They didn't want to get rid of the rats. They didn't want to get rid of the roaches. They didn't want to give our ancestors the heat.
Right.
So what happened? So what started happening? Then you got to remember you had police brutality also during that time. And it was still a lot of tension between the blacks and white. But what a lot of individuals don't know, there was a lot of white individuals still living inside was they labeled the ghettos, the hood.
Mm-hmm.
So you had a lot of white people that was feeling somewhat of the struggle that the blacks and Hispanics was going through. So the gangs was formed to protect the community, to protect the elders, to protect the women from police brutality, yes, from the white racist groups that was already formed, And they was also like, when I say protecting the buildings, what they was doing inside New York was they would purposely set the buildings on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why the Bronx was so heavily filled with abandoned buildings, because they would set those buildings on fire. But yes, the gangs was definitely formed to protect the community. But what happened was in Chicago, you had, like you said, Larry Hoover, he had the Supreme Gangsters, David Barksdale, he had the Devil Disciples, and then you had Shorty Freeman, he had the Black. And so they was outnumbered by the gang that was known as the Black Peace Stone Rangers.
Mm-hmm. The Stones.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And so David Barksdale realized that if they all would come together, that they was able to stand better against the Black Peace Stone Rangers instead of feuding amongst themselves and feuding with them.
Right.
So at the time, Shorty Freeman and King Larry Hoover, they wasn't liking each other. So I'm just chopping everything up. So
yeah.
King David called for a sit down, and he wound up having both of them make peace. They made amends, and when all three came together, this is how the BGD was formed, Black Gangster Disciples. They took each of their names, and that's how the Black Gangster Disciples was formed.
Facts. Yeah, I'm glad you breaking it down like you are, because there'll be a lot of people watching that don't have a clue of the history, why gangs exist, or any of that. So I felt it necessary to cover the history.
Right.
But I also, one of the things you had mentioned and that I had mentioned was the fact that it was formed to protect the neighborhood, to protect the people in the neighborhood. And somewhere along the line, that values system or that belief system kind of changed a little bit, because it became us attacking each other. And so why did that happen? Can you elaborate on that? Or how did that happen? Why did that happen?
Well, basically, once again, it was during the hands of the white man. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the white man, he saw the he saw the unity. He did the same thing he did with the Black Panthers. You know, they sent infiltrators in to give up information of the meetings and who was this, who was that. So with the gangs, they did the same thing. They start what they would do, what the police would do. Let's say me being a GD, they would snatch me up and they would take me over to a vice lord block, dump me over inside a vice lord block, and let the vice lords, and knowing that the vice lords will either beat me bad or not kill me,
Mm-hmm.
and vice versa. They'll get a vice lord, put them over inside a GD block or Black Peace Stone, whatever. You know, but the vice lords of Black Peace Stone was under the same umbrella. They was under what's called the People's Nation.
Right.
And so that kind of started a lot more feuding. But what a lot of individuals don't know was that some of the gang fights was also orchestrated by these leaders, because at that time too, there was no swimming pools inside the Black communities. There was no boys club or girls club inside the
Mm-hmm.
community. It was only inside the white communities. And there was no clean parks for the children to play basketball in. So the mayor at that time wasn't funding none of that into the Black community. So they would stage fights. And then finally got the attention of, you know what I'm saying, the mayor. And the mayor came and asked, well, what can I do to stop this fight? Or why is it? They was like, well, we have nothing to do. Since we have nothing to do, this is what our only choice is to do, is to fight. So they basically strong. It was like a friendly extortion. Rather, the mayor start feeding money into the Black communities. So clubs was being open, was being started, and but going back to your question, the main thing was they start putting heroin into the communities.
Mm-hmm.
And once when our people got hooked on dope, then individuals start seeing more of a monetary value. Now it started becoming more territorial. So, and that's when the division got even worse. You know, and then it was no longer about uh, just trying to protect the community. It was now about protecting your turf for like monetary value. Then it became color banging. It was about color banging and getting that money.
Right. Yeah, I can understand where you're going with that. And again, Daquan, man, I want to tell you, man, I appreciate you being open. We spoke earlier, and you
Right.
did advise me that you was comfortable with, talking about these things, and so I appreciate that, man. I
No
really do.
problem.
And
Right.
but I want to ask you, like, on a more specific note, and specific meaning Ebbets Field. I've talked to a lot of people um, here recently and then over recent weeks. And one of the biggest issues that a lot of people have is the gang. And when I say the issues with the gang, I'm talking about or what we would call OGs who are from Ebbsfield who feel like they can't go around Ebbsfield because of the gangs. What's your position on that, and how did that happen? Because I was shocked to hear that.
Well, basically, once again, GD is not a gang; it's a organization.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, the reason why it's so disarray right now is once again because of what the government implemented. Once when the government implemented that parents could no longer physically discipline their children in the household, outside of the household, that they gave the rights to children to call police on their parent. And I understand some parents were overly abusing their child or children,
Yeah.
but that extended to once when that was implemented, these children now was able to do what they want, say what they want with no type of repercussions happening, you
Yeah.
know. And once again, that came from the white seeing, well, why is these Black children more mannered than my own children? Why are these Hispanic children more mannered than my children? My children, they have this house, they have the white picket fence, the 2-car garages, you know, the front lawns, and, you know, the best schools, best education, but yet they coming home cursing me out, slamming doors in my face, you know, but we don't see this with the black children, you know, for our ancestors, you know, that was working for them. They were asking them, why aren't y'all children like that? Why are y'all children so mannerable when y'all living inside the ghetto, the slums? They like, because we whoop our children. We beat their ass.
Right.
And they know we not playing. This is why. You know what I'm saying? So, oh, okay, well, if that's what they do, then we go break that cycle. We go break it. And that's what they did when they implemented that. Once when they implemented, parents could not discipline their children, and even some adults was calling police on parents. Now these children growing up with no type of idea of any type of discipline or respect. And unfortunately, these young individuals is getting involved in these organizations or some of those street gangs, and they not following rules, they're not following laws, because there is laws and orders to this.
Facts.
There's laws and orders to this. There's nothing that you could do what you want to do. No, that's not how this go. There's laws and rules. There's rules and policies to this. You must follow. You must obey. You know, and no one is above that. But when you have these youngins coming in talking about, oh, I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to do that, then that's when you have a problem. And then unfortunately, because these young individuals, they don't understand about the repercussion, because I just recently came home. I've been home for a little over 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
But while I was incarcerated, I saw so many young brothers coming up north. These brothers was 19 years old, 18 years old, with football numbers. And what I mean by football numbers, if you know about football,
Right.
how a football field is split.
Yeah.
And these young brothers coming up with 45 to life, 65 to life, 68 years, 80 years.
Yeah, I seen a lot of that too.
And they walking around like it was nothing.
Playing around.
Yeah, playing around.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of older guys like, yo, what are y'all doing? Why y'all not inside the law library trying to get that time back?
Right.
Trying to get some of that time, especially this is your first offense. There's no way you should have got that. You know what I mean? But once again, these youngins don't understand about consequences, because when we was coming up, your mama beat you, your neighbor beat you, you know, it was a village, literally a village. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We didn't disrespect our elders because we knew we'll get that whooping.
Right.
So we respected our elders. I mean, yeah, we did what we did, but we respected our elders. You know, we wasn't outside drinking 40, smoking weed and outside. We was either
right. And
inside
if we
somebody's
did,
house,
we seen somebody's mom come, we put it away.
Exactly. We'll hide it, put it away, you know, part way for them. And these youngins aren't doing that.
Right. Well, let me ask you this, Daquan. Like, and I'm just asking because I really don't know, you know, and I like to know. Like, so an individual like yourself who has a, you know, a higher role in the organization, aren't they mandated to, or is part of those mandations to follow your direction?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So if they're, and again, I'm being specific to Evansville, let's just say I come through there and, you know, these cats don't know me because they my old friends, kids or whatever, so they don't know me and they jump me, you know what I'm saying? Like, do they got to see you about that? And how's that, you know, how's that dealt with? Because
basically, they're not just going to jump you. They just not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? They not, it's not like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying some of the incidents that you heard about weren't even related to them repping. It was related to a lot of personal issues.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And let me stop you.
I don't want to put too much out there.
Let me stop you right there real quick. I had that realization because I know there's two sides to every story. And I, you know, in a lot of situations I said, well, what did that individual do? Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, in some cases I understand that they might have brought that on themselves. You feel what I'm saying? But there was other situations where I looked at certain people that was involved in the situation. I don't want to say anybody's name because I don't want to embarrass
Right.
anybody or anything like that. And I was like, man, that guy wouldn't bust a fruit in a food fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, why they do that to him? He's the coolest dude on the planet, and it was a couple of guys like that. So I mean, what has been your position on that? Because that's what I really wonder about that. Like, what has been your position on that in terms of the incidents that have occurred?
Once again, when it was all being formulated from the beginning, we was EF. It didn't matter you was, and there was
Facts.
some bloods. There was some bloods living in EF.
Facts.
But we was EF at the end of the day. We was
Facts.
EF. Like even when the gods of Earth was up and about, we was still EF.
Facts.
And we would do the one-on-one. We would do the one-on-one, and that was
Facts.
it. Once again, a lot of these young individuals never went through that. You know what I'm saying? And you got to remember, like I said earlier, because we couldn't discipline, or these youngest wasn't disciplined the way we was disciplined, now comes the disrespect. So
right.
Now somebody like you say, you want to say no names, couldn't bust a grape inside of a cocktail, you know what I'm saying, a can of fruit cocktails. He might see one of the young homies coming through and feel because he's older, that this is nobody to him, and he don't like him for other reasons. Maybe they had a little past incident, whatever.
Yeah.
He may bump the little homie. Now another homie will come see them arguing, and unfortunately they showing loyalty to what they repping. So they're gonna jump that individual. They may not like that individual. You know what I'm saying? There's some older individuals in the atmosphere that get respect from the younger bros. They get respect. You know what I'm saying? Now, the way I feel about that, like I said, I'm not with that jumping. I'm not with it. I don't believe in that jumping. You know what I mean? So, but if I'm there, I'll do my best to diffuse the whole situation before it gets out of hand.
Right.
That's my only output on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I was just really disturbed. I'll be honest with you, bro. I was really disturbed, like, to hear that the OGs, the cats that we grew up with, just couldn't go. Like, I heard, like, the Ebbsfield Day, a lot of people won't go because they scared, of the younger guys.
And then once again, like, honestly, it's not about they shouldn't feel fear, because once again, even when I was incarcerated, and this is the problem, it's a big gap between our generation, the generation before us, and the younger generation. It's a big gap. And a lot of the young brothers are saying that nobody in our generation older is really reaching out to them. It's like we just leaving them dry. We're leaving them to defend for themselves.
Facts.
So, and then a lot of individuals our age or older, they are easy to manipulate these youngins. You know what I'm saying? Because like when I start out inside the street, even though I wasn't heavily in the street, but, I was playing the street, I was taught about the repercussions. I was taught how to walk that street life. You know what I'm saying? What to expect. You know what I mean? How to deal with that street life. These youngins not doing that. These guys just putting them out there. You know what I'm saying? Putting guns in their hand, packs in their hand, and not telling them the repercussions. They not schooling them about the rules and the laws of, the street.
Right.
So now, even with, with that being said, a lot of these, individuals our age are like, that they hard-headed, they not listening. You got to remember, we was that age one time. You know what I'm saying? You was young. Was you really listening to everybody that was older than you? A lot of times, no. You know what I'm saying? But we didn't outwardly disrespect them how the youngest is doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I get it. Some of these young ones, they are real disrespectful, very disrespectful. But, even when I was out there, I kept reaching them. And with some of the younger blood, some of the younger bloods, I would say like, yo, brother, won't you pull up your pants? Oh, why you looking at me? Oh, come here, brother. mind you for a minute, brother. Like, yo, brother, like, I'm not trying to be your father, none of that. I'm just saying, bro, you walk around saying no homo, but you walk around showing your rear end to a bunch of men.
Right.
So that's the big contradiction. You know, how
Right.
you say no homo, but you showing your rear end to men. You know, somebody walk behind you, you in somebody full view, that's what they go to see.
Yeah.
They be like, you know what? You're right. Like, this is how you just got to talk to them. You can't come out barking on them. You know, it's like dealing with nitroglycerin, so to speak.
Yeah, I
You know what I'm
understand.
saying? Like, you just got to pick the right one, just watch and observe them. All right, yeah, you know, excuse me, you mind if I holler at you for a minute? And that's what I do. You know, I go to some of them and talk to them. Like, listen, this is how they, all right, you right, you right. And a lot of them said, like, listen, we don't have nobody like you. There's nobody coming to us. There's nobody talking to us. That's what we need. We need individuals to talk to us. Nobody's not talking to us. So they feel isolated. They feel outcasted.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I agree with you, big homie. I've also considered that too, and I've told a few people that I've talked to because they like, yeah, the young boy, young boy. I said, listen, man, you know, the young boys is like 2 on our things to do list or 3 on our things to do list. We got to get ourselves together first, and that was the motivation behind, you know, the meeting last week that I had tried to put together. It fell through, but that was the motivation. Was like, okay, we need to get ourselves as the OGs together because, you know, let's just be real. There's some guys still out on the patio our age, smoking and drinking. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
you expect, you know, a shorty to respect you. You know what I mean? So I get where you're coming from with that. I really do. I see both sides of the coin, so to speak.
And excuse me for a minute.
Yeah,
And that's the problem. That's exactly what they saying. They saying, you know, if you still dressing like you back in 1980, you know, you still out here drinking a 40, you drinking cheap beer, no, they not going to listen to you, you know. But if, you know, they see you working, you dress updated, you know what I'm saying, and you carry yourself in a respectful way, they go listen to you. They
right.
go listen. But once again, image is everything. You know what I
Right.
mean? Image is definitely everything. And this is why I do my best to walk a certain way so I can still be respected. You know what I
Right.
mean? At the end of the day, it's like the same thing. Like, if you have that drunken father, that drunken uncle, whatever, and he's telling you, "Oh, stop drinking." You're like, "What?" Like, look at you. Or he tell you, "Get a job." You're like, "What?" Like, how you telling me to get a job and you not working?
Right.
You know what I mean? How you telling me to get money and you not getting money? You
Right.
asking me for money.
Right.
So, you know, it's the same thing with these youth. Like, they don't have nobody to come at them. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be able to come to them.
Yeah.
Like, you don't gotta act like them. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta learn how to approach them. Once again, images, everything. So everybody's saying that they fear of coming back in the show. Nah, there's no fear. Like, you shouldn't fear them because, you know, home is home.
Right.
You know, but at the end of the day, I heard, you know, they're afraid of, you know, the violence that's going on, you know, all that. But remember, we was coming up. There was violence going on.
Right.
You know, we was having wars with Marcy projects, Fort Crane projects.
Yeah.
You know, this time we being a part on the pattern. You heard gunfire going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. I mean, it happened.
I
It
mean,
definitely
so,
happened when
you
we
know,
was
but
coming up.
right. And then, you know, but back then it was more discipline. It was more discipline. So unfortunately, there's not that much discipline, and that's the problem. Once
Hmm.
again, you know, um, I don't regret, you know, turning as a growth and development representative. I don't regret it. You know, it has taught me a lot. You
Yeah.
know, but at the end of the day, I realized I can't be out there sloppy drunk and telling my young brothers do this, do that. They're not gonna
Yeah.
respect me. You know what I'm
You
saying?
leading by example.
Doing my
And
best. Yeah.
one of the things, and I'm glad you brought that up, Daquan, because I want to salute you again, man, because I've been in a lot of situations, prison and all of that, man, and can't no dummy, so to speak, get in the position that you in. You see what I'm saying? It takes a smart, calculated individual to put yourself in the position that you in. And so on that note, I definitely want to salute you. But do you see your existence as a legacy? Like, do you understand that you have a legacy? Like, I mean, everybody I talked to, spoke the same. Like, this how you know when a nigga is real. And I do the science to everything, you know that. But this is how you know when a nigga is real, and excuse my language, when a brother is real. When I talk to probably 20 different people.
Right.
And your name came up, and I probably brought it up because, I'm trying to do my homework. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And everybody said the exact same thing. That's when you know that a cat is real. You know what I'm saying? Because usually you have, 2 or 3 say this, 2 or 3 say that, 2 or 3 say this. Everybody I spoke to about you said the same exact thing. So I just want to salute you, man, because you don't get in that position and people don't think of you that way, unless you put some work in. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't talking about no violence or nothing like that. So
Well, once again, I never expected to be at the position, you know what I'm saying, or what they label me as. I never expected that. Nor do I see it, as me being, forming like a legacy. Like at the end of the day, this is still the honorable chairman, Larry Hoover. This is his. This is not mine. This is his.
Yeah.
This is his. This is his legacy. This is David Barksdale's legacy. This is what they created.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just like the passing of the torches. And the bottom line is, the reason why, individuals say that about me as far as my oil, give me, the level that they giving me is because, it's not the amount of physical work I did as far as what they may say. It's the love that I give them. Like, I show them genuine love. You know what I'm saying? Like, if one of my brothers, like, yo, excuse me, big bro, like, I'm thinking about going into the military, and I heard you was in the military. What is your outlook on that? And I tell them exactly how the military is. Like, listen, if you're not for discipline, if you're not for getting up 5 o'clock in the morning, do PT is physical training, push-ups, sit-ups, and all that. You're not going to go to basic training, drill sergeant will be inside your face. It's not for you, but that discipline going to pay off. You know what I'm saying? You're going to see the world, you know. And me personally, I think that's good. You know what I'm saying? You'll get that discipline, you'll be able to travel the world, see the world. You know what I mean? And if you stay focused, you get out, you can land an excellent job because you got that military background now. And stay focused. You know what I'm saying? Like they come like, yo, big bro, I'm thinking about going to college. What's up? What you mean what's up? Go to college. What you mean what's up? That's what our father, Larry Hoover, wanted. He wants to be in college. He wants to get that higher form of education. You know what I'm saying? We need more lawyers. We need more doctors, politicians. We need all that.
Yeah, and Larry Hoover stands for that.
That's a fact.
He stands for that. I've done a lot of research on Larry Hoover, and especially in the later days, when he switched it over to growth and development, he really pushed for education, and he really pushed for voting and becoming involved in mainstream society on a positive level.
Exactly.
He really pushed for that. So yeah, and that's cool. So let me ask you this, Daquan, and this is on another note because we're gonna close here in a little bit. With everything that's going on, coronavirus and the white supremacists really stepping their game up, and the police, killing us, which been going on, but now it's, everybody's informed about it and we catch it on videotape now. With all of this going on, will the brothers ever come to a place where like, okay, I seen an example of it earlier this week in Milwaukee, where the Vice Lords and the GDs united. You know, they said, you know, we're not warring with each other no more. This is not the time. We united now.
Right.
Do you see that, or are you pushing for that with the GDs in New York?
Oh, definitely. I mean, you know, I was never on that color banging, even when, you know, I didn't care if you was Crip, I didn't care if you was Vice Lord, I didn't care if you was Latin King, Blood, I didn't care about none of that. You know what I mean? For long as you respect what I am, I'm gonna respect what you are. You know, I've always been an advocate for, you know, unity amongst the black and the Hispanic. Always been about it because if you know history, we always been, you know, under fire of the Europeans. You know, we always been under fire of the colonizers. You know, it's just that we've been brainwashed, you know what I'm saying, through years and years and years of strip of our culture, our language, you know, to be proud of who, you know, we are. So at the end of the day, and unfortunately right now inside New York, there's so much going on in New York that it's going to take a lot to really get the brothers to understand that it's not about what you repping. It's about coming together and stopping the onslaught of what the Europeans have been implementing on our people. So yeah, I'm definitely pushing for it. You know, and then I know a lot of other, you know, big brother Crips, big brother Bloods. We have talked about it. We talked about, listen, it's definitely time for a sit down, but this is getting out of hand. You know, and we definitely work on it. You know, and unfortunately, like I said, there's certain incidents that's going on inside New York. It's hard to reach some of these young brothers because they lost close friends. They lost brothers, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about physical brothers.
Yeah.
So it's hard. And like I said, when you run with something like this, you form a bond with individuals. You know, not just about because they repping what you rep, but like I said, sometimes you be sleeping at this person's house. Y'all spend almost every day together. So y'all literally become like brothers or like sisters and brothers. And when they meet that unfortunate demise of getting killed by the hands of another color, it hurts. It hurts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, just like if it was your own natural brother, you go want some type of revenge. You go want something to happen. You know what I mean? But, you know, it's just, we got the whole thing, it really starts at home. You know what I'm saying? Like these young brothers gotta understand first who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm not just GD because before I became GD, before I became anything, I was born a black male, and that's what I am. I'm a black male.
Right.
That's it. You know what I mean? So I know my history. I know what my ancestors been through and what we still going through to this day.
Right.
And, you know, I love being black. I love it. I love being black, but our people is so far gone, you know, that we really got to start erasing all this misthought, this miseducation that was taught to us.
Yeah.
And then once when we do that, once we understand, like, you know, I don't call a black woman that B word. I don't do that. I don't like that. I do my best to help a black woman out, you know, try to uplift her, you know. So, you know, I mean, you know, it's gonna take a lot of work. It's gonna take a lot of work.
Yeah. I think I agree with you, big homie, and I think anything that you do or any movement that you have in that direction, feel free to give me a call, man. I'm right here. I'm on house arrest until September, so I really can't travel right now. But come September, excuse me.
It's all right.
I'll be there in a heartbeat. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'll be moving around. But one of the things you said, and you said it a couple times, you know, you spoke of the oppressor.
I'm sorry. Did I just check?
Okay. Okay.
What's up, babe?
I'm sorry. I just wanted you to know that I'm here.
Okay, you good?
Mm-hmm.
All right, baby.
All right. Love you.
Love you too. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's all good, baby.
All right, bro. Sorry about that.
No, you good. You good. I understand. Trust me. You spoke of the European and you spoke of the oppressor. Let's just put it like that. And
Right.
I guess one of the things that, and this would be my last question in relation to this, but one of the things that I never really understood is that, and you spoke about the black woman, and you'll never call her to be, but the gang, the organization, the guys in the organization will kill another guy in another organization that looks just like him. And we got guys like George Zimmerman who took a whole black man's life for no reason, and he's still walking the streets. You see what I'm saying? Like as an organization, my question would be, why are we attacking each other and allowing these cats to get a pass? The white people that, and let's just say racist white people, because I don't believe all white people is bad, but the racist white people, how is it that we ain't killing them, or we ain't, but the black man tell you, suck his penis, and you'll drive through his block and try to murder the whole block. So can you elaborate on that?
I mean, once again, it's the same thing that's been done throughout history. You know what I mean? Since slavery time, that fear that was implemented into our ancestors to fear the white people. You know what I'm saying? Then when you have throughout years of our people being brought over here, was told we ugly, our skins is ugly, our dark skins is ugly, we're savages, we're nothing compared to them. When you see all these white images of Jesus and they put themselves on a high pedestal, yet they not mention our history. We've been had civilization before they even existed. You know what I mean? So when they strip us of all our culture, our language, and it made it easier for them to say, look, all right, we like, okay, well, we can't go against that white, because if we do, look at what happened to Nat Turner. Look what happened. You know what I mean? They can't find the brother. Can't find him. You know what I mean? So that same fear is instilled to this day, because if you kill a white person, you will get more time. You will get time. The law's going to be hard on you. So it's easy. So unfortunately, our people say, well, you know what? It's easy for me to hate somebody that look like me, because we've been told for so long we're nothing. We would never amount to nothing, And that's why, we so easy to fight each other. You know what I mean? It's easy. Because when you hate yourself, you're going to hate somebody that look just like you.
Yeah.
Me personally, I don't hate myself. I don't hate myself.
And there's a few of us out here that love us, you know what I mean? But I agree with you on a lot of levels about the systematic conditioning.
Because excuse me because for example, one incident when I was incarcerated, it was a CO. He was like, oh, why every time when I ask you a question, you was coming at me, I always got a problem? Because it's you the problem. That's why. Because you come in here, you mess with individuals over minute situation, minor situations. You the problem.
Right.
When you stop enforcing these unnecessary rules you put in, when you stop talking to everybody like you hiding them because you got that uniform, doesn't mean you better than us. And then when I finished standing up to him, I'm one of the guys like, yo, man, you crazy, you bugging. I'm crazy, I'm bugging. What you mean I'm crazy, I'm bugging? Yo, you just stood up to the police. So that's who I'm supposed to stand up. That's the oppressor. That's who I'm supposed to stand up against. Not y'all. Y'all in the same situation I am. And that's what these organizations really teaching. These organizations really teaching us once again how to become better men, how to become better women. You know what I'm saying? How to uplift yourself. You know what I'm saying? Study who you are. Study where you came from. Just don't take what they tell you. Go deep into it. And then when you do that, you become free. And then that's the sad truth, because we just been so used to, like I said, that if I beat this white man up, the cops gonna come or beat me up, might even kill me. You know what I mean? And if I do survive and I go to jail, they gonna slay me. They will give me crazy number.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whereas, unfortunately, they really don't believe Black Lives Matter.
Right. Right.
You
Well,
know?
I tell you what, Daquan, man, you certainly opened my eyes to a lot of, and you answered a lot of questions that I had. And so I have a better understanding of who you are and what you represent. Because see, as a man, I have to tell you, I was like, how Daquan let this happen? You know what I'm saying? If he's the, you know what I'm saying? Like how he allowed this to happen. But I see now that you really doing the best you can to guide these youngsters in the right direction. You know
And
what
then
I'm saying?
right, and then to you
And
understand, I did two bids. You know what I'm saying? This last one was the
yeah,
longest. So while I was going, other individuals stepped up, and
yeah,
so I
yeah.
came home to all this chaos. It's like, so now it's about trying to get things right, try to put things back into perspective. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Stop all this violence. All this violence is it's not good. It's not good.
Facts. Facts. Hey man, we're gonna get ready to close, man. Is there
Right, man.
anything you wanna anybody you wanna shout out, maybe to the organization or anybody that you wanna shout out in closing?
Listen, I just want to say first and foremost to all my Ebbsfield family, I love y'all, miss y'all. I hope y'all all doing good. Y'all all surviving inside this crazy coronavirus that's going on. Stay strong, stay positive. To all of my Black people, all my Hispanic people, let's get united. Let's get together. Let's stop this crazy separation we doing, killing each other the same name with my Asian brothers and sisters, my Indian people, and even those white brothers and sisters of us that really understand the struggle, the plight of the Black man and Black woman. You know what I mean? So, and you, bro, it's so good to see you. You don't know, it's been a long time, bro. It's a
Facts.
long time, man.
Facts.
It's truly a pleasure being uh I want to say connected with you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a pleasure seeing you again after all these years, man. Love you, bro.
Yeah, I love you too, homie. And we definitely gonna stay in touch. We've been tapping each other's line,
No doubt.
periodically. So we're gonna keep that happening. And like I said, bro, you know, anything that I can do on this end,
Right,
whether it
right.
be phone calls or connecting you to the organizations here locally or whatever, you
Right.
just, I'm just a phone call away, big homie.
Like I said, it's time for us, all those that's affiliated. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? It's time for us to stop this madness. Let's all come together. Let's sit at that round table. Let's get this done. I don't care if you Vice Lord, Black Peace Stone, Latin King, Crip Blood. I don't care about none of that. Let's all sit down. Let's get this sit down together. And let's come together.
Facts. All right, bro. Well, on that note,
All right, bro.
we're gonna conclude it, man. Peace unto you and
Peace,
yours.
bro. Thank you, bro.
I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bro.
All right.
All right, one.
One.